Hey everybody, David Shapiro here. I just tried to record this video and the sound was broken, so let's try that again. First, I wanted to give a community update. So I created the Cognitive AI Lab Discord server a few months ago, just basically by popular demand. And it has grown rapidly to just over 200 members. But I was getting burned out. So I just got back from vacation. And I did some soul searching while I was on vacation, and many of you on the community told me like, you do a lot, you should take care of yourself. Y'all were right. So after doing some soul searching on during my vacation, I decided that it was time to step down from the server. But I also knew that a lot of people have commented on how unique this community is, and that they want to see it keep going. So I made an announcement on the community that I really wanted to step down. I needed to step away so that I can focus on my research and my writing. And then I had more than half a dozen people message me saying like, we will help run this, like we will take over. I had people volunteering to take ownership, people volunteering to administer and moderate the server. And so what we're doing is over the next days and maybe a week or two, we'll be doing kind of a transition as we decide the new structure. And then I'll hand the reins over. I'm going to let go. I'm a big believer in community and consensus and open source, and distribution of power. And so I'm going to put up or shut up. I'm going to demonstrate that I believe in that, and I'm going to eventually step down entirely. I'll just be a normal community member. So yeah, that's a community update. There's once that's done, we'll probably open the doors again. As more people come in, we're going to have better moderation, and so on. But yeah, so then I wanted to plug a couple of books. So first is my upcoming book, Useless Platitudes and Truisms. This is a book of Proverbs that I wrote because I love Proverbs. They help me remember how to think and how to approach the world. So what I wanted was a book that I could just flip to a random page and find a piece of wisdom, because you don't always know what you need, but you flip to a random page and you get a couple pearls of wisdom. So one example, page 72, it'd probably be different because this is a print test. Correlation does not imply causation. So that's a great maxim to live by. Another one, silence is powerful. You can speak volumes with a closed mouth. Do not answer to lies, slander, and needling. Do not dignify maliciousness with a response. So hold your tongue sometimes. There's similar quotations to that. So for instance, another one is least said, soonest mended. So bite your tongue. Speech is silver, but silence is golden. I love these. Anyways, so look for this. I'll have an announcement once this is fully ready. It's going to be on Barnes & Noble, and it's just a little pocketbook size. Another book that I wanted to recommend, I just got this in the mail from Thrift Books. It's Consensus Through Conversation, How to Achieve High Commitment Decisions. Consensus is something that I use both professionally and personally, and it is tremendous. I cannot recommend consensus enough. I think that if everyone abided by consensus and collaborative mindsets, the world would be a better place. So what do I mean by consensus? Consensus in this case is a formalized structure. So the way that meetings happen now is called, what is it, like Robert's rules or whatever. So like where everyone like gets in a room and there's a clear power structure, and then there's a vote, and then you move on. You move on very quickly. That favors things like extroversion, assertiveness, aggression, and it's also a winner takes all approach. And it is so deeply embedded in our culture that everyone just follows by that and doesn't realize that there's a better way. The better way is consensus. Once you learn about consensus, so the coolest thing about consensus is that you can implement it without other people knowing. And that might sound unethical, but let me tell you why this works. So one thing is that with consensus, you can take the consensus of the room and encourage people to speak up. So one way that you can implement consensus, for instance, if you're in a meeting or whatever, is you call on someone, you say, I haven't heard from you. Like, what are your thoughts? And so you're basically making yourself the de facto facilitator. And you can do that, especially if the meeting doesn't have any any leaders in it, or if the leaders create space. So facilitation is critical for consensus, and a manager should do that. Not always. You might have a project manager or a team lead who should do that, but you create space for people and you deliberately pull everyone into the conversation to get their input. And you ask a few primed questions or loaded questions like, what problems do you see with this? Or is there anything we're missing, right? You ask people these questions and you get everyone to participate. And more often than not, you'll be surprised by new information that comes out. Consensus works really well. It works exceptionally well for small groups, but it still works particularly well for couples, because what you do is you find a solution that it's not just something that you reluctantly agree to, where it's like one person wants one thing enthusiastically and the other person's like, okay, whatever. The biggest thing of consensus and collaborative decision making is that you work towards a solution that you're both enthusiastic about, that everyone buys into fully. And it takes creativity. It takes negotiation. But you have to reach for sometimes you have to reach for solutions that are not immediately obvious. And that's where consensus really shines, because it encourages everyone to put in their full brain trust, their full brain power, which means that you'll come up with better solutions as a group, whether it's a group of 2 or a group of 8 or whatever, than anyone could come up with alone. So I want to recommend consensus. I cannot recommend it enough. And this is also the underpinning philosophy behind some of these changes with the server. So if you want to join, I don't know what we're going to do with the doors, because all the current links have expired. But once we get the community rejiggered, we will make sure that people can keep coming. Well, I don't know. I'm not going to be in control. This is what I think is going to happen. Anyways, I'm rambling now. So this has been a brief update as to what I'm working on, as well as what's going on with the community. I do have 3 other books other than this one that I'm working on. I've got Symphony of Thought, which is another book on artificial intelligence. It is all the different components that you need to create artificial cognition, such as cognitive control, planning, executive function, that sort of stuff. Another book that I'm working on is called Post-Nihilism. It is a commentary on the zeitgeist of today and where we need to go forward from here, or rather the problems that we need to solve. I don't know where it's going to go, but I'm going to focus entirely on the problems. And then the last book that I'm working on is the first novel in my trilogy, which I'll be talking with an editor tomorrow to see if it's a good fit. So lots of exciting things to work on and lots of things coming. So again, thanks for watching and thanks for all the support. Everyone has been phenomenal, and I am really excited about where the community is going to go from here, because again, I absolutely believe in consensus, and it's high time that I step down as a leader of the community. So anyways, thanks for watching. Take care.